Hello. In this video we will learn government budget. So government provides lots of facilities, public welfare facilities to the people. It spends on public infrastructure. It makes goods and it works for providing goods and services at lower cost. So the government needs revenues. It receives revenues and it spends on public welfare and to run other economic activities and other welfare activities. The government needs funds. So the government prepares budget. How we prepare monthly budget at home. The income is mentioned and we plan how much to be spent on consumption of goods, how much to be saved. Likewise, the government also prepares the budget. The budget is a document with the details of receipts and expenditures for a particular year, for a financial year or for a fiscal year. So this is what budget. The government, central government of India prepares budget, but budget is prepared at all levels. State government also prepares and local government prepares. So for the whole country, central government prepares, which is otherwise called union budget. It is prepared by the finance minister, presented in the parliament, and it is approved by the parliament. This is the procedure for implementation of budget. Budget contains the anticipated receipts and expenditure. It is not actual, so it contains anticipated receipts and expenditure, what is needed for that particular year. That is what we have learnt. Fiscal policy. So according to inflation and deflation, the government changes the taxes and changes rate of interest and promote investment and saving. So according to the situation, the government does it. So having all this in mind, the budget is prepared, which is called union budget. So in India, central government, the finance ministry prepares the budget. So when budget is prepared, there are some objectives kept in the mind. What are the objectives? Reallocation of resources. The government must have how much money to be spent for public welfare, how much to be spent for providing goods. So all these are taken into consideration, and the taxes, the rate of interest for the loans and how much tax to be levied, because the tax is altered according to the economic condition in the country. Then the subsidies for the producers to promote investment, production, and sometimes the government produces directly, because the government provides the goods and services at the lower cost than the private firms. So the government plans on that line also how much to be spent on making goods for the public at a lower rate. The reduction of there should not be inequality. So the government works for reduction in inequalities of income. So tax is levied as per the income of the person. So the rich people are taxed more, and the amount received is spent for the welfare of the poor people. The fundamental needs are provided to the poor people out of the money received from the taxes. Then economic stability is to be maintained, so they take measures. We have already seen what are the measures taken during inflation and deflation. So all these measures are taken to maintain economic stability. Then, so the policy is also prepared in the budget. The fiscal policy of the government is mentioned in the budget. Then managing public enterprise, for example, if you take railways, postal service, you find it is a monopoly in government, that is in the country, that is central government only takes care of, runs that, which is called natural monopoly. And why the government is having that under its control? Because it provides the services at lower cost than the private firms. So the government has to make plan to maintain the services or promote the services. The government allocates funds for those areas, for those, that is railways, public buses, then constructing roads, etc. In economic growth has to be kept in mind. So the rate of interest for savings to be increased, otherwise saving will not be encouraged. So saving and investment to be promoted in the country to increase the production, because the government invites people to invest in public sector, because that is a revenue for the government, that's a receipt for the government. So the money can be spent again on the welfare of the people. So saving and investment are very important for economic growth. Then regional disparity, that is the economic development should be the same throughout. It should not be imbalanced. So government concentrates on even backward areas. So you find it is not only cities to be promoted, even the towns and villages to be promoted. That is why government brings industries to the remote areas to promote the economic development in all the areas uniformly. This is what reduction in disparities. So you find overall growth will be there in the country. So nowadays you find industries are taken even outside cities. So even into the other interior parts of the state. It is not only the capital cities are promoted. The other cities, other towns are also promoted by bringing more industries, more software companies, so that the economic development and other infrastructures will develop in those areas. So all these are kept in the mind while they prepare the budget. Accordingly, they allocate funds to all these areas. So this is called government budget. Let's see what are the components of budget in the next video.